Hello, I'm Scott Farmer, CEO of Cintas Corporation. Welcome to our Contractor Safety Training Program. At every Cintas location, the safety of our partners and anyone on our property is our highest priority. This video is an overview of our health and safety program, specifically designed for our contractors and service providers. Depending on the type of work that you're performing, your Cintas point of contact may require you to go through additional safety training. While working at Cintas, we require and expect you to follow all of our safety rules and those of the company that you work for at all times. There are no exceptions to this requirement. As a contractor or service provider, you're a valuable member of our team, and we thank you for your support. Work safe every day.
At Cintas, we want everyone on our property to always work in a safe and orderly manner. We ask that all visitors sign in at the front desk every time you come onto our property and to always sign out before leaving our property. We do not allow alcohol, drugs, animals, or weapons of any kind onto Cintas property. This policy is strictly enforced with no exceptions. Emergency situations can occur at any time, and we want you to be prepared to follow our emergency procedures. Every Cintas location has an emergency evacuation plan that can be activated at any time for a number of reasons, such as fires, earthquakes, or severe weather conditions. Emergency evacuation maps are located throughout our buildings, and all exits are clearly marked. The evacuation process can be initiated by an alarm system, sirens, horns, loudspeakers, or by verbal instructions. When you hear the evacuation signal or you are instructed to evacuate by Cintas partners, please exit the building by way of the nearest emergency exit and proceed to the designated assembly area. In some cases, like severe weather, you may be directed to a pre-designated location within the building for your protection. We ask that you please do not leave the property until you have been seen and accounted for by your point of contact. Cintas expects that all work performed will comply with national, state, and local codes and regulations. Once plans, drawings, and specifications have been approved by our engineering department, your work will normally be directed by a local point of contact. You may also be asked to provide documentation of training or professional certifications for the work to be performed. Prevention of injuries and accidents is of extreme importance to Cintas. We expect everyone on our properties to work safely every day and to avoid situations that could lead to injuries or accidents. All accidents or injuries should be immediately reported to your point of contact or a member of the local management team. All work areas should be kept clean and orderly at all times. We expect all contractors to clean up their project areas daily. All equipment, tools, and supplies must be kept in an organized manner throughout the project duration and stored in a pre-assigned location. These designated storage areas will be defined by your local point of contact. Proper illumination is essential for working safely and preventing accidents. Some projects may require additional lighting. All contractors must make sure that all lights are in good working order and properly secured while in use. Portable lighting, along with other project tools or supplies, must be properly stored at the end of each work shift. Your specific task may require the use of PPE, and all contractors are expected to provide their own PPE, which should be inspected daily and maintained in good working condition. Additionally, many areas in our locations require the use of additional PPE. We expect these requirements to be followed at all times. Your point of contact will identify these areas and communicate the specific PPE requirements prior to commencing any work activity. A specific list of all chemicals to be used on a Cintas project site must be provided in advance of any work activity. Contractors are required to maintain a binder of MSDSs in the area where they are using chemicals. Proper labeling in accordance with the Hazard Communication Standard is required on all original and secondary containers. Any hazardous waste generated by a project activity is the responsibility of the contractor. Under no circumstances is an unauthorized discharge to a waste treatment system allowed. If you are performing work in our service yards, please be extra careful with all chemicals. No discharge of any kind is ever allowed to go into storm drains. Notify your point of contact or the plant manager immediately if there is a spill of any size. Your location point of contact can provide further guidance for your specific project activities. Prevention of fire is essential to everyone's safety and well-being. Cintas facilities are equipped with building fire suppression systems and fix systems for specific types of equipment. You should always be cautious when working around sprinkler heads to avoid damage and accidental discharge. We utilize the FM Global Red Tag system for all work associated with our fire suppression systems. Any part of our fire suppression systems that are taken out of service for any reason must be authorized by the location and properly tagged. Your local point of contact will provide more site-specific detailed information on this process. Cintas utilizes a hot work permit system at all locations. Any welding, cutting, brazing, or any task that can generate sparks is not allowed unless a hot work permit has been completed and approved by local management. All requirements defined on the hot work permit must be followed to the letter, including a designated fire watch. The use of Cintas-owned powered industrial equipment for project activities is generally not allowed. Contractors are to provide their own powered industrial equipment for all project activities. Powered industrial trucks such as forklifts, scissors lifts, or aerial platforms used on Cintas property must be in good working order. Project equipment inspection records along with associated PPE should be maintained on site for the duration of project activities. All contractors performing electrical work for Cintas must have their own electrical safety program. Your program should include, at a minimum, basic electrical safety for your employees, the OSHA Lockout-Tagout program requirements, and the NFPA 70E arc flash safety requirements. Each contractor is required to provide their own locks and lockout-tagout devices. All electrical work or lockout-tagout events must be approved by your location's point of contact prior to commencing any work activity, and a Cintas maintenance partner will also place their lock on the device. Any work activity performed above 4 feet and not being conducted from a ladder, lift device, or a work platform equipped with guardrails requires the use of a fall protection system. A fall protection system must include a body harness for the worker, a designated tie-off point that has been approved by an engineer, and a fall arrest lanyard or fall arrest device. Documentation of pre-use inspection of all fall protection equipment must be maintained at the work site. All contractors are expected to provide their own ladders while working at Cintas. Only fiberglass ladders are allowed on Cintas properties. All ladders should be inspected before every use and when not in use, stored in a designated location. Documentation of ladder inspections must be maintained at the worksite. Contractor hand tools used at Cintas locations must be maintained in good working order. They must be properly grounded or double insulated. Extension cords may be used for temporary power requirements, but they must be removed daily or at the end of each task. All power cords must have a 3-prong grounding plug and should not be frayed or broken. A power tool should only be used for its designated purpose. The use of any powder-actuated tool must be pre-approved by the engineering department and your local point of contact. Contractors performing confined space entry work must submit their company's confined space entry program to the engineering department and your local point of contact for review prior to any confined space entry being conducted. Specific entry requirements, work tasks, and rescue and retrieval procedures must be reviewed by the local point of contact prior to any work commencing. Calibration records for atmospheric monitoring equipment should be readily available, and confined space entry permits must be clearly posted at the worksite. Beginning in 2011, all contractors performing work for Cintas must have completed an approved OSHA 10-hour training course. Documentation for this training, along with other regulatory or trade requirements, should be submitted to the engineering department or local point of contact prior to commencing any work activity. Additionally, before commencing any work, contractors must provide proof of workman's compensation, auto, and general liability insurance coverages. In the event of a serious injury, always contact 911 immediately. Cintas requires that all incidents, accidents, injuries, or near-miss events be reported to your local point of contact as soon as possible. All contractors will be provided with a contractor safety handbook. Please keep this quick reference guide with you while working on Cintas properties.
Hi, I'm Dan Braun, Senior Vice President for Value Improvement Initiatives. Thank you for taking the time to view this contractor and visitor safety video. Cintas has a world-class safety program, and as a contractor or service provider, that means your safety is important to us. We ask that you follow your company's safety rules and regulations and those of Cintas at all times when working on our properties. If you have any questions about our requirements, please contact your local point of contact for clarification or the Cintas Safety and Engineering Departments. We thank you for taking the time to work safely every day.